Hey guys, Mustang here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, we are looking at a unit today who is a little bit of an older one, a little bit of a hidden gem in my opinion, and we are looking at Sealas, who was introduced to Dokkan and to Global specifically on the first Heroes banner that came to Global. He was one of the featured units, and so far the Heroes banners have always been you get a guaranteed featured per multi. So I was chasing dupes for the Super Saiyan 3s that were on that first banner, Gohan and Trunks, and I did end up rainbowing this guy straight away. And even back then, I always thought he was pretty good. But one of his big issues was, back when he came out, there obviously was no Dragon Ball Heroes category. Terrifying Conquerors wasn't out yet. Transformation Boost, we only had the STR Super Boo, and then Time Travelers, of course, was the Ink Goku Black. And he fits okay on that team, but I always felt like there were better options on Time Travelers. But now, of course, that we have the Cooler to lead the Transformation Boost team with a slightly higher leader skill, this man really gets a chance to shine. And I was trying him out yesterday, and he puts out some pretty crazy numbers. So having a quick look at him here, before he transforms, he gets attack and defense 100% when performing a super, and then he gives a buff to artificial life forms and time traveler category allies, key 1 and attack 20%. Obviously if they're in both categories they get 2 key and 40%. But then once you get to turn 5, he transforms into this badass looking guy right here, and picks up Key +3 and attack and defense 60%, and then attack and defense 120% when performing a super attack. So he's one of those units that you definitely need to make sure he gets his super attack off before he gets hit, especially in his untransformed state, because untransformed he literally has no defense from his passive until he actually gets off that super attack. But as you'll see, once we get to the transformed state, once he gets off that super, he's going to have very good defense. He actually tanks very, very well. His super attack animations are pretty cool. The untransformed form, I've always liked the way he looks. He kind of looks a bit Predator-esque untransformed, but then yeah, when he transforms he becomes very, very cool. And transformed, he's able to hit crazy numbers because he gets that buff at the start of the turn, the 3 key and then 60%, which is obviously going to give him a set number of attack and defense, and then that number is factored in for the 120%. So we'll check his stats when he next comes onto rotation. So what I want to do here is get a rotation of Sealas with one of the coolers, and then I'm not going to transform that cooler because they link really well together already anyway. And then of course cooler provides a buff to transformation boost allies, so he's going to be giving Sealas a buff, and then at some point we will get Kid Buu or Turles in that third slot, and we'll be able to see some very good numbers out of Sealas. So it'll be interesting to see. Oh, of course, Raditz locks people in place. Wonderful. Okay, so I guess we will... yeah, let's just go ahead. We won't transform Cooler straight away. So typical Sealas is getting locked in the third slot. So the unit that we want to show off is getting locked in place in the final slot. So he's going to get floated off, and we're going to have to see him later. So okay, we're definitely not going to finish off Raditz before we get to Sealas. So let's see what he can put out here. This is untransformed, of course. So transforming Frieza wants to go off a little bit, which is fine. Just survives. 1.9. I mean, that's already pretty good considering untransformed is obviously nowhere near his best output, and we didn't have the extra support unit on the rotation as well. So I guess what we need to do in this situation then is he's going to end up coming onto this rotation, so we'll keep this cooler around untransformed. So I guess we need to do this. Hopefully Turles doesn't get super attacked here, but we should be okay otherwise. Hopefully Goku will just super attack Frieza, because the Goku stage and the Vegeta stage, or the family stages should I say, of the Infinite Dragon Ball history, the Goku and the Vegeta are actually the toughest stages. So we definitely want to make sure we don't get too horribly destroyed before we get a chance to see what we came for. So, wow, Cooler taking 54k. Oh, and Goku dodged Turles. 100... wow, okay. 140k to a Rainbow Turles. There you go. Not quite what I was expecting. So I guess we'll go ahead and transform this cooler, because the other one is going to be Sealas' rotation partner.
And soon to be the last to witness my ultimate transformation. Well then, ready to kneel?
I will never get tired of seeing Cooler's animations. So we'll give you those, and then I'm going to go ahead and use this. Because I want to see an attack stat from Sealas without any interference, but we definitely want to make sure we survive the next couple of turns. So give everyone a nice defensive buff. I mean, transforming Frieza looking real good, like almost up to 2.5 million attack stat here. Transformation boost under double Cooler Lees really is a top tier team. Like, everybody talks about Realm of Gods with the new LR UI and some of the ridiculous units they have, and don't get me wrong, top tier team for sure, but transformation boost, Cooler is so good, and then the team just has so many good units on it. Like you guys saw if you saw my summoning video, I recently pulled LR Baby. Here we go, get the fusion animation for Sealas fusing with Arms, who obviously is in the game as a free-to-play unit. They fuse together, and then here we go. So we are getting the defensive buff still, but I want to see how well Sealas tanks. Sealas should tank for double digits with the Android 8 effect, and then of course the buff from his own super. So what I was saying about his stats, right? He has 100,000 defense because of his start of turn passive. Now when he super attacks, he gets attack and defense 120%, which means his defense is going to shoot up over 200,000. Obviously that is due to the Android 8 effect as well, but that's very good defense. So he should tank all of Goku's attacks here for double digits. Of course he's going to super attack. Actually, this is good though, because this activates big bad bosses for sure. Oh, hell yeah. Damn. Okay, so let's see what we can get out of Sealas here. This is with no extra support unit in the third slot. 3.2 million. I mean, there are some, like, you know, Dokkan Fest units. I guess some of the older ones now. New Dokkan Fest units are always pretty crazy. But there are some top tier cards that are, like, you know, main members of the Dragon Ball cast that are not hitting over 3 million attack stat without, like, you know, a 40 or 50% support unit in the third slot. So I would say that is a pretty decent showing from our boy. And now we just need to get the that rotation where we have Boo or Turles in the final slot, and then we really are going to pop off. So now we got done with Goku, we're not in as much danger of just immediately dying in one turn. So I'm not going to heal up here. We want to try and make sure Big Bad Bosses is still going to be active for the next time Sealas comes around. And Cooler just, you know, casually 2.8 thanks to Turles being in the final slot. Cooler just does so much. He, of course, infinitely stacks attack as well. So, I mean, he's just insane. I am disappointed, like many people were, that he was taken off Beerus's banner. I would love to have dupes in mine, because mine is only 55%. But as I said at the time off the banner, I did end up pulling Blue Kaioken Goku, who I didn't have. So it did work out for me in the long run. But yeah, I think out of all the units that I have that aren't rainbowed, when it comes to Dokkan Fest units, like non-LRs obviously, like, I think Cooler is probably my #1 pick for a unit that I really want to have rainbow. Like, he's just so good. So here we go. This is going to be the rotation right here. So we have, got to try not to get the Dokkan attack though, because Cooler will absolutely kill Gohan if we get the Dokkan attack here. So yeah, we should be fine. So we've still got Big Bad Bosses active, and we got Kid Buu in the final slot. So let's see what we can get here. It should be probably Sealas' best turn. Additional super from Cooler. Just don't go too mad, Cooler. Cool, okay, good. 3.79. So almost 3.8 million attack stat from Sealas. And yeah, so he's pretty good. So if you have Cooler and you like running the Transformation Boost team, I would say Sealas is definitely worth a look in. Now, obviously, the way we're running the team here, we are deliberately not transforming with Sealas, which I guess is not something you would really do. Sorry, with Cooler, which is not something you would normally do. What with Cooler being so good, you would always transform at least one like we have here. Sometimes a good strategy is to not transform the other Cooler, whoever's weaker out of yours or the friend, and then keep them as like a floating support unit. But obviously, for the sake of showing off just how good Sealas can be, I wanted to keep him with the untransformed one, just to show off some big numbers basically. But as you can see, he is performing pretty well. And then, of course, Cooler just going to come in here with the Dokkan attack. Guaranteed crit to start. Yeah, dealing some big damage to Goten. Still took 71k on the way back, though. So that is where Cooler is. That's the only chink in his armor, is the fact that, especially with no dupes, he does not have the best defense. He has decent defense, but in these harder events, like especially things like the Infinite Dragon Ball History and Legendary Goku event, you definitely notice as you get a little bit further on that he starts to take some serious damage, which is why one of my favourite ways to run him is to have him on rotation with Golden Frieza, because then of course he is able to tank really well and let Cooler just dish out damage. Just put Golden Frieza in the slot that has the most attacks. So before getting his buff from his super, as you can see, he actually has less defense than Cooler. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. We're going to pop this, even though we are a bit on full health anyway, just to get that extra little bit of attack for Sealas. And then this will probably be the last turn. This, I would imagine, is going to be his highest number, just to the artificial buff from... Oh, wait. Cooler's going to kill him, isn't he? Oh, why? Even if he doesn't crit, he's going to kill him here. I didn't realise his health was so low. Whoops. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to... Oh, and the next time he comes back on rotation, the effects will have worn off as well. That's really annoying. Why did I not notice that his health was so low? I mean, we saw him almost hit a 4 million attack stat with no item active, so I guess I can't really complain. I should have put him in the first slot, even though he wasn't as tanky as Cooler, because there's no way Goten would have killed us even with a super attack, so that was my bad. But we got to see what we wanted. We got the rotation that I wanted. We hit some very good numbers. I'm not going to try and redo this whole recording just because of that, but good old fail from your boy there. So hashtag Ningen fail in the comments if you did manage to get this far and see just how good our boy Sealas can be. So it means next turn we are not going to have a support unit in the last slot for the extra buff, but we probably still will end off on this next turn because I want to see Sealas get in one final attack. So he doesn't get any extra buffs from the Golden Frieza, so there's no need to put him in the middle. So yeah, we'll end things off here. No support unit, so he's not going to hit his highest attack stat that we've seen, but he's going to deal some nice damage to Pan. I mean, getting a 3.2 million attack stat without the extra support unit on rotation is still pretty decent. So Sealas, very, very good card. Obviously, hopefully we're going to get more Heroes stuff soon. I did a video a little while ago about Heroes units that I want to see. Make sure you check that out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, this man, very, very strong. So if you do have him, let me know what you guys think down below. If you don't have him, let me know who your favourite Heroes card that you do have is down below in the comments section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.